All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to our monthly info day on Cascade Funding opportunities that Sploro hosts monthly. This time is on energy and environments. So I'm Paula Stiz, communications lead in Sploro, and it's a pleasure to be your host for today's session once again. Well, we are very thrilled to share valuable insights on this session. So as I was telling you, this is the 17th edition of our Cascade Funding monthly webinar series. And today we're diving into 4 significant open goals that are, driving progress in energy and environmental sectors. These 4 initiatives aim to foster innovative solutions in energy efficiency, circular manufacturing, agroecology, and workforce development, contributing to a greener, more sustainable future. So thank you everyone for joining us to explore these exciting opportunities. We're gonna learn from these experts and discover how you can participate in shaping the future of energy and environmental innovation. Katerina Ulrich is a project manager at BalticNet Plasmantech, and she'll be introducing INGENIOUS training grants. This initiative, as you'll be seeing right now, focuses on building resilience and accelerating the green and digital transition in energy-intensive industries. So whenever you're ready, Katerina, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Paula, for the introduction. So yeah, as Paula said already, my name is Katerina, and I'm working for BalticNet Plasmantech, which is a plasma technology cluster situated in the northeastern part of Germany, so very close to the Polish border. And we are an international cluster, so meaning we have SME, large companies, universities, research institutes, and other stakeholders. From 18 different countries all over the world, more or less. We started around the Baltic Sea, but then we enlarged, so we have 80 members in total. And today I would like to introduce you to our INGENIOUS project, and I guess I will introduce, unfortunately, the smallest Cascade Funding from all of us who are presenting today, but still I would like to show you. Next slide, please. Just a very brief introduction about the project so that you know what we are talking about. So this project is a Euro cluster, so-called Euro cluster project. We have 4 partners in this project. All of us are clusters. For metal industry, it was formerly known as MI4. It is a Spanish metal cluster. And then we have Nano Progress, a nanotechnology cluster from Czech Republic. Then we have Mazovia cluster ICT. As it says the name, it's an ICT cluster from Poland and us. And so the ambition was to help SME in development and adoption of innovative technologies towards green and digital economy. That was the goal of all Euro clusters, actually. Our goal or our special focus or sector was the energy intensive industry. What we finished already, and therefore I cannot give you these grants anymore. We had 7, or we still have 7 innovation grants, which we could fund. These grants were running for, or these projects were running for 12 months. We had consortium of 2 to 3 partners, and each SME, only SME could be a partner. Each SME could get up to 60,000 euros. So we had projects around 120,000 and 180,000 euros. These finished actually by the end of last year. So we are getting the reports now. It looks very good. We had very promising results. Each of them reached a new TRL level. I'm not quite sure if you are familiar, technology readiness level. This means how far are you on the chain to get to the market. And all of them reached at least TRL 6 or 7. Then we had 10 internationalization grants. This was to enter new markets outside of Europe. We had 10 internationalization grants. Each was worth 2,500 euros. And what I would like to present right now is actually, and unfortunately, the smallest one. We have 100 training grants. Each is worth 250 euros, and we just awarded 25 until now. So we still have 75 open. Next slide, please. Okay, coming to the training grants. What are the INGENIOUS training grants? As I said, it's a grant for 250 euros for participation in a training. This training should be a business-related training, so we are not talking about language courses or cooking classes or anything. So it should be somehow business-related. It could be marketing. It could be any kind of things what are related to businesses. You have to be a SME to get the training grant. And there's just one grant per SME. So if you are going with your whole company to a training, then unfortunately you still just get one grant for the whole company, and the applications must be submitted in English. But I will show you later on that the application is very few things you have to include, and we are always there for your support, even for translation. As you know, we have a Polish native speaker, German native speaker, Spanish native speaker, and Czech native speaker. So we could even help you with translating, at least from these 4 languages into English. Yeah. So next slide, please. So this is actually the structure of the grant. So first of all, the first pages are general things about the name of the company, address, and so on. So very easy to fill in. Then you have to click some boxes. Then you have to sign. And this is the writing part, which you have to do. But as you can see, you are very limited. So for each of the 3 categories, we call this more or less motivation letter. You have just 1,200 characters, which is, yeah, round about quarter, half a page, not even. And you don't need to use the full characters, of course. And the first is the educational achievement. So we are asking you to explain your current education achievement and how this training will improve your work skills. And as you can see, the maximum points are 40. And you have to have a threshold, or you have to have 20 points. So this is the threshold. To explain you, maybe if somebody's not familiar with the threshold means this is the minimum barrier you have to reach to get funded. The second part is the importance. So there we are asking you to explain why this training is important to you as a staff and to your SME. The same category, 40 points in total, or maximum 40 points, and threshold is 20. And then we have, last but not least, the motivation. So please explain your motivation to conduct the training and apply for the training grant. This is 20 points, and the threshold is 10 points. So by the end, I know, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. Just to let you know, the overall threshold, because if you count this together, it looks like the overall threshold is 50, but that's not correct. So the overall threshold is 70 in total, just to let you know. But actually, until now, I have to say the only one which we rejected were due to eligibility criteria, because they were not coming from European countries. So they have to be from European countries. The same regulations as the European Commission's. Ukraine is allowed, just for the ones which are maybe from Ukraine. But I can also send you a list of the countries which are allowed. So this is the only thing, and one who wanted to go for a fishing training. So of course this is not eligible as well. But all the other, they explained very well. And you know, it's always good to include maybe the training, what is part of the training, what you will do during the training. Maybe if you know the name of the company who's doing the training already, that would be also a benefit to include here. So actually, we are not very strict in this, as long as we see your motivation and that we see that there's an added value for you and your SME. Yeah, and if you have any questions, I'm responsible for the grant, for the training grant, and Eva Rekosch from Mazovia Cluster ICT, she's the coordinator of the project, and here you can find our email addresses and our Skype. So if you have any questions, of course, you can ask right now, but if you are too shy to ask, you can also contact us later. So, and here, yeah, you have the QR code, which goes directly to the training grants on our website. And there's a LinkedIn account as well, where you can find more information. And just one more remark, these Euro clusters will continue. The call is open until the 5th of February. We will apply for this call within the topic of clean energy. So hopefully in 1 year we could have another meeting together, and I could explain you more, and then I could introduce you as well to the innovation grants. So thank you for your attention.
We are hearing from Daniela Piat. She's a project manager at PTJ, and she'll be presenting the agroecology, in this case, the partnership call. So this initiative supports innovative solutions in agroecology, focusing on assessing performance across environmental, economic, and social dimensions.
Thank you very much. So thank you, Paula, also from our side, from Agroecology. Yeah, thank you for the invitation. And I also, it's our pleasure to be here. So I take the opportunity also to mention that my colleague, Nicolas Tinoa, is also present today here. So to join the event and to help also with questions. So I would like firstly to give a brief, as you mentioned. So we work at the project management ULIS, and the project management ULIS. So Forschungszentrum ULIS shares the coordination of the agroecology partnership together with the French National Research Agency. So we are the coordinators, and INR is the coordinator of this partnership. So agroecology started in January 2024, and then on December 2nd last year, so we launched already our second co-funded call, which is called Integrating Environmental, Economic, and Social Perspectives in Assessing the Performance of Agroecology, Value Chain and Policy Implications. So just as a general information, so this is not a Horizon Europe call for proposal, but a co-funded call implemented in the framework of the partnership agroecology. So here just to mention, so who are the eligible countries and regions? So are these only the countries and regions that have funders participate in this co-funded call. So in case that your country or region is not listed, so we have a list of the funders, yeah, and I will show you later. This means that you can still participate as an associated partner, but then you have to participate on your own resources, yeah. So funds are provided by funders for applicants from their own country and region. Funders have an initial indicative budget as outlined in the call announcement and funders regulation. And all funders build the so-called funders board, which is the decision-making body of this call. So who is your funder? So as I mentioned, so we have a list of we have in total 28 funders joining this second co-funded call. So I will show you later. Then please check the specific regulation and choose the one that you are eligible to receive funds from. Yeah. So here just about the EU top-up co-fund principle. So this is provided to the funders to increase their individual budget for funding and, in particular, optimize amount of successful proposals. Regarding scope and expected impact of this call, so the call objective is integrating environmental, economic, and social perspectives and setting the performance of agroecology, value chain, and policy implications. So the assessment of the benefits of agroecological approaches is essential for a better recognition of agroecology by the agricultural sector, the market, and by the policymakers. Yeah, the evaluation of the performance of agroecology must be addressed by integrating environmental, climate, economic, and social dimensions. and the value chains upstream and or downstream of agroecological production system, and the private and public incentives able to support the transition should be addressed to foster this transition, this agroecological transition. As expected outcomes and impacts, so it's expected to this practical oriented knowledge, tools and or innovations available to farmers and the sector, contribute of agroecology practice at local, regional, and national scales. Increase knowledge transfer, and capacity of farmers and agricultural advisors to implement agroecological practice. Increase a socio-economic and or environmental performance of agroecological approaches, and enhance science policy interfaces, serving to facilitate a faster transition to agroecology. So here, just to show you briefly, so in this second call, you have 2 topics, which is also includes themes. Yeah, so we have sub-themes. But here, I just would like to highlight these 2 topics, which also here is important to mention that applicants have to choose one of these 2 topics. Yeah, so topic 1 is called Determine and Assess Benefits, Impacts, and Trade-offs of Agroecology and Identify Best Practice. And topic 2, Transform Value Chains, Businesses, and Policies to Facilitate the Transition to Agroecology. In both topics, so we expect that address challenges faced by at least 3 countries participating in this partnership, to follow a co-creation and multi-actor approach with relevant stakeholders as inspired by the Living Lab methodology. Apply a multidisciplinary approach, take into consideration local conditions, consider the experience gathered by the organic farming sector, connect fundamental research with applied research, identify, evaluate, and integrate traditional knowledge in agroecological practice. So here, just very briefly, just as we mentioned about the Living Lab methodology, yeah. So here, if just 5 key points. So the co-creation, yeah, the multi-method approach, active implication of end users, research and innovation using, so this is a real life setting, yeah, and implication of different kind of stakeholders. So here I would like to show you about how to build your consortium. So the partners can be university and other higher education institutions, public research institutions, profit and non-profit organizations, consumers, citizens, civil society representatives, and private companies. So is this partner eligible to receive funding from one of the funders of this call? So as I mentioned, so I'm going to show you later the annex 9. So where we have the list of all funders participate in this call. So yes, is this partner requesting funds? Yes. So is your project idea in compliance with the applicable funding regulation? Yes. So these are the basic criteria. So yeah, so partner and project idea are eligible. So in case that your partner, your country or region, you have no funders from your country or region, so your this partner is considered not eligible. Yeah, the same if the project idea is not in accordance to the project ideas funded by the funders. Yeah, so in this case, neither the partner and the project idea is eligible, but you can still be a partner of this consortium as long as you are responsible for securing your own expenses. Yeah. And you are going to be considered as an additional to the minimum number of partners of this consortium, and is also a letter of financial commitment requested. So here very briefly about the eligibility criteria. So about the proposal, so proposal must be consistent, so scope, thematic priorities of the funders. proposals must be written in English. Yeah, and also to meet all the formal criteria and be submitted via the online submission platform. So we have the deadlines for the pre-proposal on 17th of February and for the full proposal on 9th of July. The project duration, so the minimum is 24 months and the maximum 36 months. And the earliest start of the project is expected by January 2026. But of course, here I highlight already that some exceptions among project durations and start date can be negotiated directly with the funders. Yeah, so there are exceptions according to the funders. So here, regarding the consortium, so it might be composed by at least 3 eligible partners requesting funding from at least 3 different member states or Horizon Europe associated countries, and from funders who provide funds to this co-funded call. So as I mentioned earlier, so associated partners do not count towards this limit. So you have to have 3 eligible partners and then plus associated partners. And here, so individual researchers affiliated to several organizations cannot request funding from more than one funder. Also important to mention here, each consortium must be led by a project coordinator from an organization eligible for funding from a funder of this call and requesting funding. And the same person cannot act as a principal investigator of a coordination for more than one proposal. All applicants have to fill in a NETCO self-assessment. Information from pre-proposal is binding, so no substantial change to scope and objectives are allowed. And total project costs are by default not restricted, but funders may set a limit per partner in a project. Regarding the call procedure, here I would like to show you the timeline. So as I mentioned, the second call was launched on December. Our deadline for the pre-proposal is in February, 17th of February. Then the applicants will get a feedback by the end of April. And then the ones selected will apply for a full proposal, for the full proposal stage until 9th of July. The decision is going to be made by end of October, beginning of November, and then project may start by beginning of 2026. Here just to highlight in both phases, yeah, pre-proposal and full proposal phase. So we have an eligibility check, yeah, a general done by the call office and the check by every criteria of the funders regulation, yeah. The evaluation is conducted by an international evaluation panel, and the selection funders board decide on this based on the ranking list and availability of funds. Regarding when the project is finally selected, yeah, in the full proposal stage. So this grant negotiation is done bilaterally between the partners and the funders from each funders, yeah, accordingly to their regulations. And the project consortium shall agree on a joint starting date, but start of individual partners in terms of their grants might differ. Here I would like to show you. So here's our submission system. Yeah, I don't know if you already had a look on it, but then here I would like to highlight some aspects. So we have what we call the partnering tool, yeah, platform. So it's a tool where you can offer or request an expertise, yeah. So here, once you click on the top there, partner, then comes this window partner platform. So here you can post an offer or in here you can also see the list of offers and requests. So it's just a tool just to help you to get connected with different researchers and research institutes. Yeah, so up here on the coordination regarding the coordinator registration. So you have to appoint a coordinator, and then the whole process we will start with his or her registration, login, and then it will follow to the partner registration and so on. Down here, there are the call documents. So as I mentioned, all the information you can find in the call announcement, and regarding all the information on the funders and its funders contact point, you will find in the annex 9, which is called the funders regulation. Yeah. So here I would like to highlight also, it's not in red, it's not in yellow, but on 13th of December last year, we presented a webinar for applicants, and we have all the recordings and all the frequent asked questions. So you can have access. So just go there in our platform and then just click there, and you can then it was a webinar planned for more than 2 hours. So here I'm trying to speed up to condense in 10 minutes. But then if you are interested to join our call, so please just have a look in our webinar and also the list of frequent asked questions. Yeah. So I already mentioned, so here's the call announcement. So is the all the information that you need to know more about the partnership and the call, eligibility criteria, and so on. So you'll find here in this document. And then here on the funders regulations, so you find all information regarding maximum funding per project duration, the topics that each funder funds, and who can apply. So all this important information are there. And please just keep in mind also that is that we highly recommend you to get in contact with your funder contact point, because they are the ones responsible to know all about this specific information and rules. And then by then, so only proposals complying with both sets of criteria, as I mentioned, so the general ones, it's made by the co-office, and the funder's eligibility criteria will advance to the evaluation procedure. So I thank you for your attention.
Our third speaker is Lucia Diaz. She's the head of European RD&I and Knowledge Transfer Services at Andalusia Trade, and she'll be discussing about the EENergy Open Goal 2. So this Open Goal offers funding and sustainability advisory services to SMEs for energy efficiency projects.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm sharing my screen in order to start presenting the EENergy initiative. So, okay, before I start, I was just wanted to let you know that the EENergy is a pilot project under a single market call for proposals, so it's financed by this program. We are a consortium that is composed by 10 partners located in different countries of Europe, but the focus of the project, as you can see in this slide, is to provide financial support to European SMEs in their efforts to improve energy efficiency in their buildings, processes, production lines, etc., through grants up to 10,000 euros. But the eligible SMEs are not only those located in the countries on which there's a partner of the consortium, but all EU single market countries. So the main aim of this project is to improve the company overall energy expenses spendings, sorry, up to 5%. So what we want to achieve via the implementation of this project is to help SMEs throughout Europe to really reduce their energy spendings via implementing these energy efficiency actions. It's important to mention that EENergy, that stands for Enterprise Europe Network Energy Efficiency Measures, is a project that in its implementation works in close collaboration with the Enterprise Europe Network. That for those that don't know what this network is an European funded network and is the largest network that provides support services to SMEs in the world. So I will explain you a little bit more about this. So the program is focused on, as I mentioned before, on providing European SMEs grants to implement energy efficiency measures. So we counted at the beginning of the program with 9 million euros. So that this means that we are aiming to receive up to or more than 1,800 applications from SMEs from different countries, sectors, and sizes. We will distribute at least 900 grants to 900 SMEs, up to a maximum of 10,000 euros. This means that if the 1,800 SMEs that submit the application request 10,000 euros, we will finance 900 SMEs, but we have been facing some cases in which SMEs just request the money that they need to implement the action, and this can vary from 2,000 euros to 10,000. So if we have remainings of budget, more SMEs will be receiving grants. How is the selection process work? I mean, we don't implement like an evaluation process. So what we implement is an eligibility check, and all those SMEs, applicant SMEs that are considered eligible, enter into a randomized selection process. It's like a lottery type of selection. So all the SMEs applying have a fair chance to get the money. And as I mentioned before, this is a program that works closely with the Enterprise Europe Network. Under the Enterprise Europe Networks, there's a figure of advisor that is called Sustainability Advisor. So through all the application process of the SME, a sustainability advisor of the Enterprise Europe Network is going to accompany the SME, and they will get support on the preparation of the application. After that, SMEs will be receiving additional support on identifying additional sources of funding in the case that they don't receive the grant. They will also receive support on sustainability services. So we launched a first call on 2024. So this is the second call, what means that we have an available budget for this second call of 2,290,000 euros, what means that we will be funding at least 229 SMEs. And as I mentioned before, the grant is up to or goes up to 10,000 euros, meaning that if we request less, we will receive what we have spent. But if we aim to implement a higher investment, let's say like 15,000 euros, we will be receiving, if we are a funded SME, we will be receiving 10,000 euros. So here you have an overview of the call. So the call opened last 2nd of December 2024, and it will be open until the 28th of February 2024. This means this is next month. Then we will run the eligibility check, and we will have the results at the end of March. Then we will be implementing this randomized selection process. So we hopefully have the results of those SMEs that will be funded by mid-April. And then we will start with the grant agreement signature procedure around from the mid-April until mid-May. And only when SMEs beneficiaries of the grant sign the grant agreement, they can start implementing the activities, not before. So once that they have signed the grant agreement, they will be able to start with the implementation of the activities foreseen in their application. Then the end of the activities is open. Sorry, but I will provide you further information about this just in a minute. So which are the general eligibility criteria? Any SME located in any EU single market country can apply to this call. And the third general eligibility criteria is that they need to have an implementation / action plan focus on the implementation of energy efficiency measures elaborated together with a sustainability advisor of the enterprise Europe network. What is an SME? Well, SME stands, we follow the rules and the definition of the European Commission. So there you have the link. The SME must and needs to be registered and operative before the 1st of January 2024, because we really need to have a comparative range to check how the SME has been doing in terms of energy efficiency in order to really measure the impact of the actions or the investment or the activities that they implement under the grant. So we need to have like this activity period to really measure the positive impact of the grant. And another important thing is that SMEs, in order to be considered eligible for this second call, they must not have submitted an eligible application to the first open call of EENergy. So summing up, we have at least 229 grants of 10,000 euros available. And something really important is that under this project, we have like an objective, no, of reaching that the 20% of the grants that we provide to SMEs are going to energy intensive industries. So in order to reach that objective under this call, at least 67 grants will be provided to energy intensive SMEs. And meaning for energy intensive SMEs, those industrial sectors that are defined as energy intensive. And also we consider manufacturing SMEs and all those SMEs that have that have like their total cost, well, their total energy cost is up to the 40% of their total costs. So it's a wider definition than the one provided by the European Commission. So what do we finance under this EENergy grants? Well, the eligible activities are investment in technologies. Let's say, for instance, if a company wants to implement a PV in order to substitute their energy source, this is eligible. We also finance consultancy if they want to implement a consultancy in order to audit their energy consumption, etc., etc. And we also foresee funding activities focused on improving the skills and training focused on actions linked to energy efficiency. Activities in multiple categories are eligible, but the only consideration that we need to take into account is that all the actions must be part of a coherent implementation/action plan, and they all the activities as a whole need to contribute to the 5% energy reduction. Since the implementation plan is part of this eligible criteria, you need to be aware that when we speak about what is the scope of the implementation plan, or what is going to be the scope of the actions that I want to implement in my company, we can go from a wider scope towards a more specific one. So we can consider that the actions we are going to be implementing and the reduction could be under the company as a whole, or maybe if the company has several buildings in which it operates, the scope might be just a singular building, or just a single department, a production line, or an equipment. What is important is that we really define in the implementation plan what we are going to do with the grant and what is going to be the scope and how we are going to measure the energy consumption reduction. The main characteristics of the implementation plan, because I think that this is the key aspect in order for an application be considered eligible, is that the action plans needs to be coherent, meaning that all the activities presented and all the activities for which we require this grant need to contribute to the improvement of the energy efficiency. The implementation plans needs to have sufficient quality. The activities should be well described and it needs to be clear what we want to do, what we want to perform, because this implementation plan is going to be linked to the grant agreement. So you really need to provide a clear explanation of how you will be investing the money. Another characteristic is that we really need to demonstrate that we are going to achieve the 5% reduction of the energy consumption. So this means that we need to provide references, actual value and actual data related to the investment or the trainings or the consultancy. We really need to explain what's the rationale behind of the activities that we are going to be implementing. In my previous slide, I comment that the end of the activities is open, but we need to be aware that there's a time frame linked to this project. So all the activities that we foresee that we are going to be implementing under this grant, the cost and the impact must be incurred within the project life period, what means that we will have to have everything implemented, paid, and with an impact by January 2026. And one output of this project is that all the SMEs that apply for the grant will receive a benchmark report based on the data that they provide, and this means that and this report is like an analysis, what is the situation of the SMEs SME compared with other SMEs in the same sector, country, size, etc. The last important thing is that there's 2 data collection and reporting periods. The first one is under the current call, and the second one will be in January 2026. And all the SMEs will need to provide all those considered eligible will need to provide some data. And in order to submit your applications, you need to register to the EENergy grant platform. So you just need to register with an email address, and then you will receive a code. You put it there, and you can start submitting your application. In this platform, you also have all the information about the call, which I really recommend you to go through. And you also have additional information in these links.
So last but not least, finally, we have Álvaro Parejo here. He's an innovation project manager. He'll be presenting the CIRCULOOS Open Call. This initiative, as you'll be seeing, focuses on circular manufacturing, supply chain orchestration, and optimization. They offer funding opportunities for the design and implementation of it.
We are partners of CIRCULOOS, which is a sustainability and circular economy project, of course, funded by the European Commission. So what we're trying to do is to help manufacturing SMEs, medium enterprises, small enterprises and startups to empowering and then empowering them and grant them with innovative tools to create sustainable value chains. So we have 3 key strategies. The key strategies are orchestration optimization of supply chains, seamless integration into existing planning and production monitoring systems, and calculation of product sustainability and circularity profiles. So we have 5 different objectives. We are based on fiber, and then we evaluate eco-friendly supply chains. We create secure data exchange environments using blockchain. But most importantly, we are funding new circular teams with a budget of 3.6 million for open calls. We also have, based on RAMP, we use RAMP Marketplace for different processes of the open calls too, which is an integration, it's a platform to the pilots on the open call. As I said before, I'm not going to stand too much on this because here in the main webpage of the CIRCULOOS project, you can find like the webinar recordings that we already done with all the information regarding to the introduction of the project and more detailed information about objectives. And here you can also find the guidelines and where to apply. So going back to my presentation, as I said, we have, we have 3 pilots. We have one based in Spain, which is for plastic recyclings. We have one in Hungary, which is for reuse of leather waste. And we have also one in Netherlands, which is for wood reusability. So as you can see, CIRCULOOS is very based on the recycling strategies like reuse, like the R strategies, which is reuse, recycle, refurbish of different kind of waste that you can find in the linear supply chains. So as I said before, we have 3 open calls. The expression of interest is the one that we are right now, which is like the first open call. And we are opening the second open call at the end of March, followed by the 3rd open call. So for the expression of interest, it was open on May last year, and it's still open. It's just for entities that are interested in the project and how to get funded and to get more information about our open calls. They can go to a RAMP platform, to our website, and they will find different activities that we are working on. We are doing matchmaking events. We had one last week. It was very successful where different entities could match with each other. I will explain why in a second. We have different workshops and we have webinars constantly, so you can be informed of everything that we are doing. But yeah, basically, we are giving up to funds of 60K per entity. So who can apply? In this case, we are looking for manufacturing entities that are able to adopt one of the EAR strategies, as I said before. These are recycling or remanufacturing, repairing or refurbishment. We are looking for single entities because in the second open call, you will need to apply as a consortium. So that's why I said we are doing matchmaking activities, because we are helping entities that doesn't have a consortium yet to find a partner so they can apply to our second open call. So as you can see here, the consortium structure that we are looking for is to at least have one manufacturing entity. It's like the consortium should be between 2 and 4 entities, but you have to have one mandatory manufacturing MSME or mid-cap. You have to have one or up to 2 other entities that should be recycles, upcycles, repairers, or waste collectors. And then one DAH or RTO or MSMEs that will act as a regional circularity hub or as a coordination partner or as a technology enable. So as I said, for the first open call for the matchmaking events, if you are interested in that, if you don't have a consortium yet and you want us to help you find a ideal partner, you can go to the QR code. It will redirect you to the run page. And then there you will find a public list of entities that are already registered and are looking for a partner. And you can even register there and do the same. You can open your entity and made it public so they can find you very easily. As I said, the expression of interest, which is the one we are right now, is to help you out. You have to be in a consortium to be able to apply. We are giving 240K per project, per consortium selected. And each entity of that consortium can get up to 60K per partner. We are looking to fund 16 consortia. And then the funds will be enabled in a monitoring process that will last at least 12 months. The funds the funding rate that we are applying is 60-40. So that means that 60% of the eligible cost will be coming from us, but the 40% will be put on your own pocket money. This is the case for profit entities, but for non-profit, the eligible cost will be up to 100. So it will come all from our side. Here is a timeline of what we have done already and what is expected in the future. So we already did the webinars, the matchmaking events. We did it one last week, but we are planning to have one in the several next weeks or next month, probably. And then the second open call, we will launch it at the end of March. Then the third open call will be will be open for single entities. So if you did not have the chance, or you did not have be able to find a partner, or you missed the second open call, you will have the chance to apply to the third one, because the second one we will establish circular value chains. And then for the third one, we will enable single entities to join those already established supply chains that we were able to create on the second open call. And here is the same. You get 60K per entity that comes into these supply chains that have already been created. So for open call 2 and 3, here is the QR code that will redirect you to the F6S, which is us, the partners that are leading the open calls. And there you will find the option, like you will get updated if you connect there. And then you will notice that the application will be enabled on the platform. Again, here is a timeline of what is happening on CIRCULOOS, is what I already said. like open call 2 end of March, open call 3 maybe next year, maybe this year. We still don't know yet, but we know that second open call will come on the end of March. As I said before, in the main webpage of the project, you can find all the information about the open calls, the guidelines, what we are looking for. I'm pasting the link on the chat right now, so you can have it at hand. You can also scan that QR code. It will lead you to the same page, just in case you want to check it out.
It's been very inspiring to hear all about these innovative projects, and well, each one contributing to sustainable growth and resilience in energy and environmental sectors in this case. But yeah, we hope you found it fruitful, enriching, and successful.